Hey, what's going on YouTube? LMC here. Hey, a couple things I wanted to go over in this video. One is figuring out what your withdrawal fees are going to be for different exchanges. For the exchange you're seeing right now is Binance. The other one is going to be safe practices and just when you're getting your foot in the door on these cryptocurrencies, making sure that you're keeping track of every one of your trades, all the information yourself. I mean, the exchanges have that information, but if tax time comes, or if you start wondering, well, why is my total portfolio say I have this much money when I don't really know exactly what kind of fees I paid or what happened, calculating some of that stuff on your own, just give yourself peace of mind. And you might need to pay taxes on that stuff. You might be, who knows what's going to happen with that stuff. So the more you know, about what you're doing, the safer you are, the better off you are, the less chance you're going to get ripped off. Even if a site says you're paying 0.2% fees, verify that. Verify that versus market value of those coins and what you're getting charged. So right off the bat, you can see some of these withdrawal fees. This is one thing I want to explain to you guys. You can't always withdraw these different coins off of every market. Some wallets on these markets go through times of maintenance. So for example, like I couldn't withdraw Tron. Uh, what was that? A week ago I checked, and that wallet was under maintenance. So for Binance, you can click these things. It's pretty nice. This one says network congestion, withdrawal suspended. So maybe IOTA is having a lot of trade volume right now. Not really sure, but some of these different ones you can't always withdraw. And before you do try to do a withdrawal from an exchange, or even before you buy from an exchange, do a quick search. Search Reddit, search whatever sites you can for other people who have successfully withdrawn their money from those exchanges. Because that's one thing that you hear a lot of negative comments about. Somebody's got 5,000 Ethereum sitting out there somewhere. They clicked the withdraw button from the exchange, but they never received it in the wallet they were sending it to. A lot of different things can happen there. Usually it's cleared up over time. And some of those withdrawals can take hours or days, or I've even heard of up to 2 weeks before those withdrawals take place. It all depends on the exchange, what's going on at the time. There's definitely some risk involved there. But try to make sure that exchanges actually are doing the right thing with some of these things. So, for the most part, if you do everything right and you follow the steps and you type in the wallet address properly. So, let's just take an example and let's say we're going to withdraw one of these. So, what I wanted to show you is how you can actually see what kind of fees you're going to pay. So, for here, um, this would be where you would type the withdrawal address. You can probably, I don't want to show too much stuff. Maybe I don't want to click the wrong thing and show something I shouldn't. But you can probably just scan a QR code as well if you have access to something like that. Type in the amount of coins. So I have 40 of this ARN coin. So let's say I wanted to withdraw all 40 coins. The transaction fee is 3.3 ARN. So I will get 36.7 ARN after this withdrawal is complete, sent to whatever wallet I send it to. You can check this. This is basically the same fee structure for all different exchanges. They all charge different amounts for different coins. So if you can get a coin at two different exchanges, go onto both those exchanges, I would, and figure out if you have accounts for both exchanges, figure out how much fee you're going to pay for a withdrawal. Because some of them, it's like 100 of a certain coin, and that coin might be worth 50 cents at the time. So that's a huge fee you're going to pay to withdraw that coin. Now you can always figure out the best way to do a withdrawal. You could trade that certain altcoin to a more reputable coin on their exchange and then withdraw that reputable coin to a different wallet. And I know that happens a lot. That's the best way to do a lot of these low volume altcoins. So there's a lot of different options here. But what I wanted to show you is how you can kind of figure out those fees. And almost every single exchange I've seen has a similar setup with all the coins listed with withdrawal addresses. So if I wanted to deposit Bitcoins into Binance, as an example, I could do a search or I could come down here. Here's Bitcoin. And I could deposit, and I can show you this key because that would just be anybody could send Bitcoins to this wallet address, which also has a QR code here for Binance. really nice. I could just scan that and then send the Bitcoin from whatever wallet I'm sending my Bitcoin to my Binance wallet. So it worked out really good for me sending Bitcoin to Binance. Hopefully it works for every coin that you guys want to send into other exchanges. But you can see the fees. It's going to be a similar type table setup with different fees for different exchanges. So I wanted to get that out there for you guys in case you were wondering on withdrawal fees. Um, the other thing I wanted to get to was showing you guys how to track what you're actually paying. So for me, being transparent here, this is a spreadsheet I set up that I wanted to just figure out exactly where I started and what kind of fees I was paying, things like that. So let's just look at some of the things I'm tracking here. And it gave me a lot of peace of mind at the time when I started going through this. It takes time, but it's kind of, fun to look at the different prices and things. And you get some different information while you're going through this. You understand what your trades were exactly, and then you know what to expect in the future from other trades that are going to be similar. So I set up the very first one. Let's just go through it. I transferred $300 from a bank to local Bitcoin, and I received this much Bitcoin. I did not pay a fee. The seller paid a fee, but if you look at the $3,000 to what I received, I paid a fee compared to the going market rate of that Bitcoin. So I wrote down a little cost basis here, and then I froze my frames here, and then on different times I can check my percent change. So the cost basis was 3,000 based off the going rate of Bitcoin at the time. Um, this is what I would have made. This is how much total USD my portfolio was worth, I guess, at that time. This line doesn't really mean that much to me. If I go down another line, here's my second transfer, was from local Bitcoins to Binance. I sent this much Bitcoin and received this much Bitcoin with this fee. This was the fee imposed by local Bitcoins who had to pay a fee to get that Bitcoin transferred from one wallet to another. They tell you this fee on local Bitcoins right before you go to do a withdrawal from their wallet. They'll tell you what the going rate, and that does change from day to day to make a Bitcoin transfer out of local Bitcoins, for an example. So I paid that fee. My balance afterwards was my total balance that I received to local Bitcoins minus that fee I had to pay to get that to Binance for this example. So this cost basis was this much USD per Bitcoin. So this is where I figure out what I paid. And this was different dates where I just come in and I figure out which trades were profitable and which trades were not profitable. So on 1/7, this was the cost of USD per Bitcoin. So $16,268 per Bitcoin on this date. So the market was very high on this date. So basically, if I would have just held that total Bitcoin, I would have made 108%. Now later on, I only would have made 98%. So just going down the list, then I started making some Binance trades. Now this is where I wasn't quite sure what kind of fees I was paying because in a previous video I talked about only paying 0.05% trading fee for if I used Binance Coin instead of taking 0.1% if I was using Bitcoin. So I was making trades in Binance. I did Binance. The first trade I made was I bought 8 BNB because I wanted to use Binance Coin to pay my fees. So the fee for that was 0.004 BNB. My balance after was this. I transferred this much Bitcoin to get 8 BNB. This was the best trade I've made so far, which I never would have figured, but Binance went way up because of new users and the coin skyrocketed and people were buying it to pay fees, and I don't know exactly the reason, but this coin did very well. You can see 197% change. So basically, here I track my balance after, and I'm tracking two different things. I'm tracking Bitcoin, and now I'm tracking BNB because now I'm paying all my fees in BNB, Binance Coin. So again, these are like you can automate the process by selecting cells and subtracting your fees from that. So this minus this equals my balance after. You can set these spreadsheets up however you want. I created this one from scratch, just figuring out, starting to throw information down. And then this was my amount of Binance coin, my cost basis. So the normal cost basis for anything, if you look on any exchange, you can find Bitcoin to that coin. You can't easily convert to USD because there's another it's basically two different exchanges that you have to figure out at that point. It's not difficult or anything, so my cost basis was 0.00594 bitcoins per BNB coin. And then I can easily figure that out or look it up at whatever date that I'm searching that, or the current date usually, to see what the percentage is that went up on that. So Binance was a great trade for me. And then I bought some LSK just on a whim. That one went up pretty good. I paid a fee of BNB coin. And then over here, so it goes on and on. Then I transferred, some more BTC from an exchange, and then you can put all that information in. I'm not saying this is a good spreadsheet or you should use any of this, but you can figure out exactly what's happening with your trades and your accounts, and you have a good reference if you ever need to look at this information in the future. So I recommend something like this. And then you can kind of figure out what your total BTC value is or Ethereum value is. You don't really need to figure it out. You can see it right through Blockfolio at any time. I can show you how to use that app sometime in the future maybe. I think it's pretty cool. Okay, so the BNB price, I put this at the different times that I made these trades. So you can see between the 4th and the 7th, Binance had a huge jump. So then I took to figure out what kind of fees I was paying per trade. So each row is basically a trade. I take the current running BNB price per BTC, and then I take the BTC price per USD. So these are actually 14,700, 14,939 USD per Bitcoin. And then to find out the actual USD, dollar amount that it cost me for that fee, which is really what we care about. That's what our brain's thinking is our fiat amount. That's what we've been raised with, is the amount of money for that country. Um, then you basically take the BTC price times the BNB price times the amount of BNB fee that you paid, and then that gives you your trading fee. So for me, each one of these trading fees was really minuscule at the time. It depends on how much of it you're buying. Um, but basically, it's 0.05% for Binance is what it figured out to be. So for me to make about $2,000 in trades up till this point, I need to maybe update a couple things here. I paid $1 in trading fees because I was using the Binance coin. I would have paid $2 if I was using Bitcoin, and I still have these amounts of coin. It's just kind of useful. You should get into a habit of doing it. Don't worry too much about it. Don't trade this. Don't try to be a day trader and get burned on fees horribly. So you're probably thinking, well, that's great. You only paid $1 in fees. Yeah, that's pretty great. I mean, I'm really happy with that. That makes me think that I can do day trading type things more profitable without these fees cutting into what I'm my bottom line. So I think that is great. Those were the fees I paid within Binance as an example on this one. And but where they're going to get you is with those withdrawal fees. So you got to figure out how best to do your withdrawals when it comes time to take your money off of these exchanges. And eventually you're going to want to do that. So you need to plan ahead a little bit on that. So have I done the best on that? No, but hopefully you have the tools to do so. And all right, hope you learned something. Until the next video, LMC signing out for now.